Adam, you're one of the only competitors in the physique world, bodybuilding world, whatever, that I know about that barely ever does cardio or structured cardio.
Well, I mean, we're kind of doing it right now when you think about it.
Right.
We're just doing a different type, right?
You talking about N.E.A.T?
Well, yeah, I tend to focus more on N.E.A.T than I focus on cardio, just because it's a lot more manageable and it's more realistic to sustain for longer periods of time, if you know what I mean.
What is that acronym?
Well, yeah, explain
stand?
what N.E.A.T is, just so everybody understands.
N.E.A.T stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So basically it represents all the activity that we do outside of exercise. So just like walking, like we're doing right now, this would be considered N.E.A.T. And no one really pays attention to all the steps and the activity that we do, just like taking a walk like this.
Man, it seriously accumulates throughout your entire day. Just a little bit of movement that you're doing, but you're active through that whole time. It makes a massive difference in the total amount for your day.
Well, you know what's interesting is that when I would train clients, I would notice that clients would burn more calories on weekends when they didn't have structured workouts. Because let's say they went to the mall, they washed the car, or they did, yard work.
Just cleaning the house, like very simple tasks, but they're doing it constantly and they don't realize those couple hours of tedious work turned into an entire day that you produced as far as movement.
I mean, literally what we're doing right now constitutes N.E.A.T. And it's really, what is it all about? It's about measuring your total activity, and it doesn't have to be exercise. In fact, if you think about it, even if you work out for an hour a day, there's a lot of hours that you're not working out. And you want to know, you should pay attention to how many calories you're burning during those hours.
Well, what people don't realize is that, now that even if you're somebody who does an hour of strenuous cardio or exercise per day, you're still considered a sedentary person. Yeah. So in your head, like clients, like I get clients.
Especially nowadays, right? People sit down all day long.
Well, and they think because they go to the gym and they hammer themselves for an hour that, oh, I'm an active person. Yeah. But really you're not. If you go straight to the gym, you work out for a hard hour, then you go back in your car and then you go right back to your office and you sit down at a desk for 8 hours. That person, compared to the person who makes sure they go out on a nice long walk in the morning or before they go to bed, they do that for an hour or 2 hours, that amount of the activity that person is that's just walking will actually end up benefiting them more when it comes to burning fat than the person who's slamming themselves.
Well, hold on, let's stop for a second. Stop right here, because I had a question for you.
Okay.
What do we tell people then? What do you tell people? Like, what's measurable? Steps? Is that an easy measurement? Like, hey, measure your, count your steps.
Well,
that's one way to capture that method.
This is why I'm a big fan of like your tools, like your wearables, your Fitbits and Jawbones, things like that. It's not because of we can debate all day long on how accurate those things are or precise.
With the heart rates and everything else they're trying to add in there.
But what really matters is being able to see where you're at. So like I take somebody and I say, listen, we're gonna wear this tool. We're just gonna track what a normal week is. I don't want you to do any extra exercise. I don't want you to do any extra N.E.A.T. I just want you to go about your business for a week and track and see where your activity level is. And you'll be surprised, the average American is only moving about 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day, which is very sedentary. Mm-hmm. So from there, I'll give them simple step goals to bump that up.
So instead of, hey, do 30 minutes of cardio, hey, why don't you increase your steps to 9,000 or 10,000 a day?
Measurable
and just
stuff.
Start with that. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
That'll give them better results than doing 30 minutes of cardio 2 or 3 days a week. I mean, it'll add up to
you'll be
more.
less impact on your joints. That, the answer being this high intensity mentality. Now we can take our time and do, moderate to low intensity activity that's not going to be so stressful on our joints.
Well, it's something too that's more sustainable too, long term.
Right.
Like you see like my peers, right, that when they get ready for a show, it's crazy what I see. I see these guys doing an hour of cardio in the morning, hour of cardio at night, and they do that for like 8 to 12 weeks to get ready for a show. Well, yeah, that's fucking great for that, getting ready for a show, but who's really doing that day in, day out for their entire life? Now I take someone else who's more focused on N.E.A.T, getting up early in the morning, get an hour, half hour early to walk your dog in the morning, or go with your spouse or your significant other for a walk before you go to bed, or choose to park farther away in the parking lot when you go to the grocery store.
There's a lot of those daily hacks, like people call them. It's just, simple things you can do. Get up certain periods of time as you're working and you notice you're sitting too much, stand up, move around, get the blood flowing, do simple things like that to just change your entire day's outcome.
I could say with good confidence that increasing your N.E.A.T is probably, I hate to use the word, but one of the best secrets you could use to increase your fat loss.
100%. And a simple goal that I give people is you track for a week, you see where you're at, and then every week you try to make anywhere between a 10 to a 20% increase.
Love it.
Real
there
subtle.
It is.